Hey everyone, welcome to a sermon sidecar. This is one of our videos where we've got a point that really goes well with the message, but for a multitude of reasons, it wound up not making it into the final cut of the Sunday message. And so this past Sunday, we looked at Psalm 90. Like I said, possibly my favorite psalm. I absolutely love it. And I want to share a follow-up thought to one of the last verses that we used in 1 Corinthians, where it says, "My brothers, be steadfast, be faithful, be immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, because you know that in the Lord your labor is not in vain." And so we offered this beautiful reassurance of like, hey, be encouraged, be strengthened, know that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. But I want to do a quick sidecar on what does that mean? Because I think a lot of times we overly narrowly define what fruit of our labor looks like. And so when we don't see that, we get discouraged or we get frustrated or we get disappointed with God. Right, all right, I've been sharing the gospel with this family member for 20 years and they haven't professed Christ yet, right? My labor has been in vain. I've been praying for a coworker in their marriage for 5 years, and the marriage has only gotten worse. My labor's in vain. We've been praying for this, and it hasn't happened. We've been giving, we've been serving, we've been doing whatever it is for this many years, and the result that I thought it was going to produce hasn't happened yet, so my labor is in vain. And so I want to go to the other Corinthians letter, 2 Corinthians, where Paul is writing about his thorn, and he says in 12 verse 8, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. What if the fruit of the labor is meant to be our humility? What if the fruit of the labor is meant to be our resilience? What if the fruit of the labor is meant to be our obedience? And so the fruit that is being produced in our toil as we abound in the work of the Lord is conformity to Christ. Is that not beautifully valid, wonderful, praiseworthy fruit? Is that not something to be, and when I say praiseworthy, I don't mean praiseworthy like God is praiseworthy. I mean something to be celebrated, right? Like conformity to Christ should always be celebrated. And so I want to caution us against overly narrowly defining what the fruit of our labor is. And so that if we're not seeing this one specific outcome, we get discouraged, we get disappointed, or we start to blame God for, hey, why isn't this playing out like you said it would? What if, as we abound in the Lord, our labor is not in vain, and the production of our labor is greater sanctification and greater holiness and greater dependence and reliance upon God? Is that not enough for us? And so that was just the quick thought. Anytime I've talked about this verse, it seems like that conversation pops up with a degree of regularity. And so I wanted to make sure that we took some time to consider, okay, do we have a appropriate view of fruit of our labor, or have we tried to put it into such a small box that when we don't get it, it winds up discouraging us? I hope this challenges you, blesses you, and above all glorifies Christ. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time.